Shargo.
Guten Tag, Ananya.
So, since this is our very first video, I would like each of us to give a little bit of description or explanation or introduction to ourselves, what we do, and where we are living currently.
Okay.
So I would ask you to start first.
Okay, my name is Nishorgo and I live in Germany and I have completed my master's here and recently I got a full-time job contract.
Good. I'm Ananya Banerjee. I am also living in Germany. I have also done my master's. We were in the same batch, and I'm doing a full-time job as a product owner in one of the Hamburg company. So Nishargo, the reason of or the purpose of doing this video is to enlighten the people who are looking for the job. Since the job market as of now in Germany is a little saturated compared to 2019 when I initially arrived here. So you got a job very recently, just few days before the visa was about to expire. First of all, how does it feel to finally have a job, and also how does it feel to have it at the last moment?
Very relieved and very grateful. To be honest, I was super scared. I thought, who knows, in the end, it might work out, it might not work out, but my inner faith told me that I should stick to my journey and I should have a little bit patience and things might work out because in the end, I was still hopeful.
Yeah, good to know that, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
So I would like to ask you a few questions so that we can understand the current job situation, visa status, and so and so. Since my experience with this entire processes are a bit old now, so maybe you can help us there. So first of all, which resident permit you currently hold?
Right now, it's still job search visa, but I have a Fiktionsbescheinigung as I'm waiting for the permission from Agentur für Arbeit to start my work. It will become a worker visa, but till then, I'm still in my old visa. As this is how basically the Fiktionsbescheinigung or the temporary residence permit work. And obviously, I came here with student visa and I think almost everyone knows, or even if you don't know, it's completely okay. It's very important that you have some sort of financial backing such as block account for these visa like student visa or job search visa or a newly called so-called opportunity card visa. It's very important to have block account or any other financial means.
I see. So you said job seeking visa. Is it similar to opportunity card visa that we recently got to know, or is it somehow different? If so, what are the differences? And were you also like a possible candidate to apply for this opportunity card visa, or how was it? Which visa permit you hold, or?
I held a job search visa, which is the possibility to look for a job after one has completed their higher studies in Germany. And I got 18 months to look for a job. And opportunity card is a bit different. It's to attract potential talented ones to be able to work in Germany, and one get around 12 months to find a suitable job here, and it's based on point system. So suppose you are from a very much looked for industry, for example IT, then you have higher points and you have to gain these points to qualify for the visa.
Okay, and
I also wanted to answer the other question. I also had the possibility, potentially, to get these opportunity card as well, as per heard from Berlin Ausländerbehörde or Hamburg, but it really differs from one Bundesland to another. So I encourage you to check if it's possible because it really depends. Sometimes it's possible, and sometimes they might tell you that these visas or permits hold very equivalent reasons. So it might be very different.
since you said Bundesland, that's like more like a state, varies from state to state for an office. Okay, just for the
Yeah, exactly.
listening. Okay, that's thank you for answering. That's good to know. Now talking about your job seeking visa while you were applying for these jobs and stuff, which platforms did you use for applying for jobs? And what was your CV? What changes you made in your CV? So and so. Just if you can walk us through.
Yes, of course. As many might know, LinkedIn and Xing already, these are very much popular in Germany. So I started with them. Later, I also tried out German websites like JobVector or JobWise. And the best for me was the company websites. I think the company employees look into that more often than LinkedIn or Xing even. And another thing that I made changes to my CV was, at first it was not so much German job market aligned, but as I started talking to the recruiters or asking for suggestions or getting feedback from Reddit conversations or talking to recruiters on LinkedIn, I asked them what I can do, and slowly I started getting feedback. And I tried my best to align my skills to what German companies are looking for. That was very important. Another thing was making the CV obviously in German, and making it in a way that recruiters understand you as a candidate. Because I see many people, because we are from a foreign country, we might have misaligned skills, but we have to translate them into their language, how they can understand us very well. That was a big change maker, I would say.
Okay, I see. And were you giving interviews in German, English? What was the communication mode? Because when I started applying back in 2020, probably, for me it was a little easier that time because I did land up into English speaking job, even though we do talk or exchange in German. But the interviews were held in English, so it was easier back then, little bit compared to times now. So how was it for you? It was an English speaking job. They conducted German or English, or how was it?
At first, it was English, but gradually it became German, because I felt my personal target was to look for a job where the recruiters see I'm also putting efforts to work with them. And it really worked well, I would say, because German companies really like it when someone from outside or a foreigner came here and learned a language. That means a lot to them. Basically, that means you have done something that's not many people would do. So I think that created a lasting impression on them. And most of my interviews later became completely German. And I would say, for me, it was initially I thought I couldn't do it, but I would say, as people who do these higher degrees or even engineering degrees, we can understand context really well. So if we prepare what they might ask, even with these days with tools like ChatGPT, it's very easy. We can prepare ourselves well, and there's not to fear so much. I think many people can handle these interviews.
Yeah, that gives hope. Good to know. Can you maybe give some examples? What are the questions were asked to you during your interviews, and how many rounds were it? If they were technical questions, more generic, how what were the questions basically?
So at first it will be more like introductory round, just to know you. They will try to know you as a person, and who you are, what kind of work did you do, what kind of work do you like. They will tell you about their company, their needs. And it's very important to make the interviews look like you are also looking for the right company to work for, instead of just give me a job kind of vibe. So it's also important that it turns into a discussion rather than they are trying to look for a candidate. Because that should become a match. I think a recruiter and a candidate both are looking for the right match. So it turns out more like a discussion. You are also curious about them, and they are also willing to learn about you. In from my experience, most of these interviews were in 3 rounds. At first, the introduction, then the technical round. In technical rounds, they ask you more a bit conceptual questions. What did you do? How, if you know these, for example, for a full stack role, they might ask these HTTP methods. They might ask you about REST API. They might ask you about JSON Web Token, how everything works together. They might ask you the difference between array and linked list, data structure, very fundamental questions. But many people don't grab the concepts well, so they might not be able to articulate these concepts well, especially it's also in German, so I think it's a bit challenging but doable. And finally, in Germany this is very common to ask for the person in their office physically in the final round, where they show you around and if you guys are match.
Okay. Okay. Long process, but yeah, good to know. Uh, do you happen to know anything about Initiativbewerbung? Have you tried that approach, or if you have any insights on that too?
Yes, this is a very good question because I personally do get these questions about what job platforms did you use or do you use, but many people don't talk about Initiativbewerbung enough. The thing is, many people don't even advertise if they have a job post or not. It might be they have, it might be they don't have, but it's best to just try your luck and ask them if you have an opening. Hey, I looked into your company and I think I would fit well. I have these skills and I'm very willing to have a conversation with you. It works well in Germany. This is basically like cold emailing approach, also known as Initiativbewerbung. And yes, of course, I tried it, and I would say this has been the best approach so far.
Good, good, good to know. And do you think referrals are useful recommendations?
Yes, it they can be useful. It depends on the connection, who is referring you and how well they know you. It shouldn't be just generalized. For example, suppose they don't know you so well and they are just referring you. You it might work, it might not, but it's best if it comes from a person who is very trusted by someone from the decision maker.
Good, good, good to know. I think that would be it for today. In case if our people wants to get in touch with you regarding fixing their CV or taking their CV, we can do another part
Yes.
on how